Ladies, gentlemen, bots and fembots, salutations and welcome to CoolestAnimations Reviews Generations Leader Class Jetfire, number 21 of the thrilling 30.
And let's start things off in jet mode. Jetfire's alternate mode is a big and chunky take on the Grumman F-14 Tomcat, which was the main inspiration for the original figure's Super Valkyrie vehicular form, which is littered in surface detail, including some tiny machine guns and vents. The only real reference to the cartoon Skyfire model in this mode comes from some show-accurate kibble under the cockpit. Whilst we're under the jet mode, what's the situation like under there? Well, it doesn't go out of its way to hide any parts, but the only real thing the classic figure hid better was the head. You're probably asking yourself, were those some wheels I just saw? Why, yes. Yes, they are. Coupled with a flip-down piece at the front, allow his jet mode to stand perfectly. They also allow him to roll. And after that exciting feature, what other secrets does his alt mode hold? Well, he's got an opening cockpit, moving wings.
If, for some strange odd reason, those features do not get you excited enough, JFR comes with a plethora of accessories, all of which are covered in copious amounts of red chrome. Whilst the fast plaque / turbo thrusters are nothing to gawk at, the weapons really add some play value. The Photon Missile Launcher also features a tiny missile. Word to the wise though here, that thing shoots out pretty fast, so much so I lost it twice at auto assembly, and has a bit of an itchy trigger, so be careful. The weapons also all feature 5mm pegs and ports, so they can peg together or with other weapons to make super guns, such as this one, called out in the instructions. If that doesn't take your fancy, all of them have some secure slots to peg into in vehicle mode. Right, now we've got our jet mode all armed to the teeth, time for some size comparisons. First of all, how does he stack up to the classic Seeker mould? Pretty well, all things considering. Obviously old Jetfire is quite a bit larger, but this is about the size difference in the cartoon. The other major comparison you'll no doubt want to see is how he stacks up to his previous self. Well, there's no doubting they're based off the same jet, and the major differences lie in the more rounded cockpit. From the front, I'd argue that the new version hides the robot better. Overall, a decent sized chunk of jet. Well, it's time to transform. Fire's transformation is about as long as his classics version, but pretty much turns the entire scheme around. It consists mainly of moving the jet parts out of the way, and then rotating the limbs down, before tapping in the central body section. Whilst, on my copy, some tabs are a little loose, it's generally an easy yet satisfying and quick transformation. Just to note, all his weapons can stay attached, but I find it easier to remove.
And in robot mode, Jetfire continues his mainly G1 toy-inspired, but now sports a more Skyfire accurate chest and vent, along with his very Skyfire-esque wing backpack.
His weapons can all peg back into their alt mode placement points to further his Super Valkyrie toy look, or store on either the wing undersides or on the fastpack. The fastpack itself contains a ratcheting joint such that you can rotate it away if preferred.
So what's the articulation like on this new exciting leader body? Well, if we start from the bottom and work our way up, he has little tilting feet on a often missed foot extension, ratcheting knees, although not spring ratchets, and then moving slightly further up, he has universal directional ratchets going out and forward at the hips. No waist articulation due to the way that his inner body comes together. And then at the arms, he has in and out motion this way. A swivel, which I think was really always missing from the classic version. Technically ratcheted arms that go just above 90 degrees. No wrist swivel, unlike the classics version. And then in the head, we have finally an up and down motion on a pin joint and a 360-degree rotation. Whilst we're at the head, let's get a nice look at this lovely sculpt, which seems to be a slight homage to animated Jetstorm. He also has up here some nice, if slightly inaccessible, light piping, which showcases his little forehead crest and two little dots under it. I wonder what those... Appearing from underneath his slide-away battle mask, similar to the classics version. Jetfire's most cartoon-accurate part of his design, his head. This is without a doubt Skyfire, the Cybertronian scientist who made the mistake of being friends with Star. I really appreciate this cartoon throwback and homage to the classic figure on a design that is primarily a reimagination of the G1 Jetfire figure. And if you want somewhere to put his helmet, it can oddly slide on to the gun. So, how does this guy compare to other figures in robot mode? Well, standing next to his classic version, it's nigh on impossible to mistake these guys as different designs, whether in their base or fully armoured up robot mode.
I, personally, feel I prefer the leader class's less rigid posture, but it's really down to personal preference.
Compared to his old pal Screamer's mould, he towers above him as he rightly should, with the top of his vents coming to just about Jetfire's crotch level. You are left wondering, however, whether IE's Raptor Squadron would scale ever so slightly. Just as a side note, as I know many people have different Seekers, he scales just as well with the other two current classic Seekers we have. So, whatever takes your fancy, you can use as your start screen. Just for fun, here he is with his little Dreamwave nemesis. Oh, I need you. Ow.
So, overall, is Jetfire worth the leader price tag? Well, the auto assembly this guy was about £55 and I managed to get a tenner knocked off. For about £45, I definitely think he's worth it, at least to support the first of the CHUG leader and to have a properly in-scale version of the character. For the full import price of £55, I really think he's worth considering. If you're looking for a totally accurate Jet or Skyfire, or hate the idea of a few hollow parts every now and then to save costs, then this guy may not be for you. However, anybody else should really give this guy a look. Whilst by no means a perfect version, Jetfire manages to further update and best the original classic design, whilst also maintaining a fine balance between the two character models. His accessories manage to boost his value proposition up just a bit higher, such that he's worth considering importing. If the only thing stopping you from getting this guy is the odd red chrome, I would take a gander at the Japanese Legends version, which is set to just feature red paint as shown on the box. The only real thing I would have liked to see is the ability to attach the classic's much cooler weaponized fastpack to the Generations leader one, rather than just having a...
Thank you for tuning in for this review on what's basically been a test on my new camera. Comments and criticisms are always welcome, especially as I know the lighting sort of needs a bit of work with this camera, as does the background. But thank you for watching. If you like it, please subscribe.